Evening, Ridge Wreckers fans everywhere. Welcome to the Week 5 recap video. It was a tough week, long week, went all the way to Monday night to the very last play. It's really all you can ask for, especially into the game of the week. We had some big winners, big losers, lots of changes in the standings, and some major breaking news thanks to an exclusive by yours truly, the media. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. Before we go any further, however, we need to start with the disclaimer. This is a comedy, okay? The opinions expressed herein are probably not my own, nor the individual even making the comment at the time. If you are my employer, a future employer, a previous employer, a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, someone I know, nobody I know, and you're offended by this, stop watching, okay? If you're easily offended, if you need safe places, if you consider yourself to be a snowflake or someone that the world gives a shit about, this video is not for you. We're here to talk trash, sometimes say intelligent things, and talk about fantasy football. So again, if you find yourself offended by this, it's a comedy. Get over it. All right, Week 5 results had Jags defeating Dynasty Reimagined 124-97 points. Ginger Unicorn fell to avoid the Noid 114 to 144.14 points. The league's high for this week. Congratulations to Team Avoid the Noid. Devontae's Inferno lost to the Roster Baiters 103 to 114 points in the Cross Street rivalry. And Nut and Buttsacks lost to the Booty Lickers, who put up an amazing 136 points. Nut and Buttsacks scored 91.30 points, representing the league low for the week. Their team fucking sucks. And Social Justice Warrior defeated Team Suckaditka in an upset victory, 119 to 105 points. Suckaditka came out limp on that one, and the media was wrong calling it. All right, Game of the Week had the media versus Missing My Young Ho, and that came down to the very final play of Monday Night Football. The media put up 116.84 points to Missing My Young Ho's 117.44 points, a difference of 0.60 points. So that was a heartbreaking loss, but good points for, and that will help me down the road in the standings, I am sure. So I'm only so upset about it. All that being said, let's get where those standings lead us. All right, after 5 weeks of standings, Avoid the Noid climbs back into first place. Booty Lickers comes up into second. Suckaditka fell 2 spots to third. Social Justice Warrior and Missing My Young Ho both climbed 1 spot to fourth and fifth. Ginger Unicorn rounding out the winner's bracket in sixth, falling 2 spots. The media stayed right where they were in seventh. Roster Baiters, Jags climbing 2 spots each to 8th and 9th. Dynasty Reimagined, Nut and Buttsacks falling 2 spots on their losses to 10th and 11th. And Devontae's Inferno maintaining the caboose at 0 and 5. Something needs to happen in that camp because they better start winning. Yeah, looking right at you. All right, so those were your standings after 5 weeks. Now let's get into the Week 6 preview. All right, Week 6 has the media going up against the Roster Baiters, Suckaditka going up against Dynasty Reimagined, which I hope there's lots of trash talking with that one. Both of those have big mouths. Nut and Buttsacks goes up against the Ginger Unicorn. Jags plays Devontae's Inferno. Should be an easy win for Jags, but I was wrong last week, so let's see what Devontae's Inferno can put on the board. Avoid the Noid plays Social Justice Warrior, which should be a good game with some implications for the standings. And Game of the Week has Missing My Young Ho again featured, but this time up against the Booty Lickers. Best friend rivalry, and after the trade from 2 weeks ago, some serious hard feelings on that. So, Game of the Week, keep your eyes on it. That being said, the next thing I want to talk about is the trade and the breaking news. So if you remember, 2 weeks ago before the Sunday games, Missing My Young Ho made a trade with the Booty Lickers, which was instantly derided by the league and by yours truly, the media. It didn't really make any sense at the time. So as a reminder, Aaron Jones was traded to Missing My Young Ho, who gave away Marquise Brown and Cordell Patterson to the Booty Lickers. That following Monday, Cordell Patterson was put on the IR. And there's some questions about other teammates coming back that's going to make Marquise Brown obsolete. So, all that being said, after 2 weeks, this is what they put on the board. Aaron Jones put up 13 points and 9 points in the last 2 weeks for a total of 22 points. Marquise Brown put up 17.8 points and 17.8 points. Patterson put up 9.8 the week he went IR, and of course 0 last week, for a total of 45.5 points. So if you do all that math, that means the trade was almost twice as good for Team Booty Licker as it was for Team Missing My Young Ho. Which begs the question, really, who got their booty licked on that deal? And is Team Booty Licker the victim we all claim they are? I don't know anymore. It's almost like a Russia-Ukraine thing. Is there really a good guy? Is there really a bad guy? I mean, maybe they're just all people. Don't know. That's for you to decide, the viewer. But I gotta say, the facts kind of stand against the Booty Lickers' claims that they were molested and sexually assaulted. I mean, I'm not calling anybody a liar. You gotta take the girl's word for it. But the facts just aren't there to support it. So, that being said, let's get right into the breaking news because that's really what we're all excited about. Interesting trade that occurred this afternoon, and we're breaking it to you here first on the media's recap. Team Avoid the Noid is making a deal with Team Jax Jags. This will shake the league to its core. Could potentially have massive league-long implications and could dictate the outcome of the season for Avoid the Noid. Pretty sure Jax Jags is a lost cause at this juncture, but Avoid the Noid could be regretting this trade down the road. This afternoon, Avoid the Noid traded Cooper Kupp and Kyle Pitts to the Jax Jags in exchange for Jamar Chase and Goddard, the tight end from Philly. I don't know if that's how you say his name or not, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. So you've got a wide receiver for a wide receiver and a tight end for a tight end. Some serious talent in that trade. The question is, who's going to actually start performing? I mean, Cooper Kupp is, right? And Goddard is. But Jamar Chase should be performing much, much better. So Jax Jags is getting Cooper Kupp in exchange for Jamar Chase, but giving up a good tight end in Goddard in exchange for Kyle Pitts, who has not performed at all this season. Again, you, the viewer, will have to be the judge here. I think it's a fairly even trade and has potential for both sides to be a very good trade. But like I said, it could blow up in the face of Avoid the Noid, and secretly I hope it does, because that team's going to be really hard to beat. So, again, we're making this league great again, gentlemen. Trades are what make it work, okay? Traders are meant to make the world go round. You got to get out there and trade. You got to wheel and deal. You, the viewer, the intelligent viewer, can decide if it's a good deal or not, and I expect the thread to be pretty active when this breaks. Dynasties Reimagined had no comment when questioned by the media, so status quo there. Comments from the team owners this week had Gender Unicorn saying this about his loss. Cherry NyQuil glazed chicken is a pear salad with spinach, cranberry raisins, cheddar cheese, caramelized pears, ideally in the leftover glazed chicken sauce, and a vinaigrette with some salt, pepper, and cherry NyQuil. That's basically what happened. Keep it up, buddy. Team owner of Missing My Young Ho had this to say about his victory in the game of the week over the media. What a game of the week. Came down to the last drive of the Monday night game. Had the Raiders kicked a pat like a normal team and gone to overtime, I surely would have lost. I don't know if you or Devontae's Inferno is more disheartened by that decision. Me, for the record, they should have kicked the extra point and gone into overtime so Mahomes could have put up one more point and I could have won. That would have been, the right thing to do. As it relates to the trade, I want the people to know that the law offices of Booty Licker have been too busy doing just that to notice that for 2 weeks since the trade, 2 players I gave him significantly outscored the one I got in return. Fact. The law offices continue to slander the crooked name. There was no NyQuil or farm team involved this time. Just like NAFTA, I'm open for negotiations of fair and equitable trades for all. His comment shocked me only in the fact that a millennial even knew what the hell NAFTA was. Social Justice Warrior had a fairly calm comment. One game at a time, I may have won the battle, but the pharma industry is winning the war. Not very confident going into next week. My running back situation continues to plague me. Oh, and I don't have a starting tight end either. There are a lot of 4-1 teams in the league right now. Unfortunately, I think next week I will be 4-2. Accurate. Suckaditka, who had the loss to Team Social Justice Warrior, had this to say about it. Tough loss this week for Team Ditka. We shriveled up worse than George Costanza after swimming in the pool. It was very fitting that my opponent, correct pronouns are they, them, son of two moms, canceled Team Ditka on the weekend of Columbus Day. I mean, Indigenous People Day. Unfortunately for team owner of Social Justice Warrior, we don't cancel statues in this league, so unlike the statues and monuments of American heroes that are being canceled all over the country, team owner of Social Justice Warrior won't be able to cancel the ass-eating trophy that will be with him for the rest of the season. That, of course, is a reference to the league's Losers Trophy, which is a very inappropriate wooden statue. Team Booty Lickers had this to say about the return to glory with their victory. This week was a return to form for us as expected. Can't say I'm too excited with the win considering Nuttin Buttsack's team fucking sucks. But I will say I enjoyed this blowout more than the one on draft night. We had to regroup this week after suffering a horrific gender-bending loss last week due to sabotage from missing my young ho. Yahoo Analytics' main weakness is the algorithm's inability to account for the depravity of the crooked owner and his blatant lack of humanity. Nevertheless, we will overcome this obstacle eventually, just not this week. Unfortunately, Crooked Chris's plan to unseat me as the rightful champion of this league is in full effect, as he bled my roster dry ahead of our matchup this week. According to Yahoo Analytics, I do not stand a chance against him given my injuries. I concede defeat this week, but just like the Ukrainian spirit, I will rise from the ashes and attain ultimate victory in the end. Of course, you will remember my reference to Russia and Ukraine and the confusion about good guys and bad guys and just somewhere in the middle. And finally, our league leader has this to say after putting up the league's highest score of the week. I'll keep this short and to the point. The worst part about the Mets getting knocked out of the playoffs is my attention will now turn to football. So obviously my favorite football team will experience an equaling depressing collapse. The New York Giants are currently overachieving this season with a record of 4-1, part because I haven't been focusing on them. But now that I will be paying attention, they will begin their slow but steady march to a mediocre finish. Which is very different from Domino's Pizza, which has a fast but explosive finish. Pound, friends don't let friends eat Domino's Pizza. There's a lot of truth there too. And just like the Mets losing, team owner of Avoid the Noid is going to go down with the remainder of the season. Mark my words, they will not win the championship this year because I'm going to get there first. All right, fans, that's it for the week. We had a lot of comments from team owners, some pretty big shakeups, big news considering trades, and a good Week 6 preview. So remember, fantasy football is really all that matters. Talk trash, beat your neighbor.